We're live. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cam and Focus Weekly. I feel like I have to figure out a different name to call it because it's at the point now where weekly is just almost like an unrealistic expectation. But there's been a lot going on the last few weeks for everybody, really, not just me. So hopefully we can get back on track here. This is something that we love to do. So hopefully we can stay consistent with it. But that's a battle to be fought another day. So
you can call it Cam and Focus here and there.
Yeah, right, exactly. Cam and Focus semi-annual.
Bi-weekly.
Yes, exactly. Well, I am Cam of Cam and Focus. With me today is Mr. Andrew. How are you today?
Doing good. Like I said in the pre-show, little tired, but got enough energy for tonight. So,
well, I certainly appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
I know that you've had a lot going on lately, especially with Fan Expo and all that. I'm sure that was really a hell of an adventure, but a good one, I hope.
Oh yeah, a lot of fun, super fun weekend. So
good. Yeah. And you were telling me that you purchased some new media. What's going on with that?
I have. So the first piece, this is a big set. I got it at Walmart. It is the James Bond collection on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, okay. Very nice.
And it goes up to Spectre, so it's got 24. But I had bought No Time to Die at my thrift store for like $1. So
nice.
I haven't spent more than like a few bucks on average from all the movies. So for Blu-rays, I was like, I will take it.
Yeah.
So I have lost count how many movies I own, as you can see here.
Yeah, you have a nice
I know it's over
600. Wow.
Exactly.
Now
it's probably close to 650 at this point, if I'm being honest.
That collection that you bought, does it include like the Sean Connery movies?
So it's got all of them, so you can see on the front there.
Okay, yeah. Your video was kind of cutting out for a second there, so I had to struggle to see what I was looking at. But yeah, I see it now.
Yeah. So it's got the first 24, and then like I said, I have No Time to Die already, so I was like, that's perfect. So, and what I like too, this is just me. I'm a special features kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these have a ton of special features, and this might seem silly to some, but the main menus are cool. They're not just like the poster with music. It's like show scenes from the movie, stuff like that's just cool. I just like that kind of stuff.
Now, did you get that box set from the thrift store as well?
No. This was at Walmart.
Oh, Walmart. Okay.
And I've had my eye on this for a while, but usually I will find like a new release that I'm like, ooh, I'll get that. But there hasn't really been a lot of new releases out at Walmart yet where I was like, ooh, I got to get that now. And when I was looking at the average price of this per movie, it was like $3 per movie. I was like, that's a good deal.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, I'll show you.
It's 24 movies. That's 2 days of entertainment right there.
Exactly.
Nice.
So these two, it's got the years, but these two have 20 movies in them. And then these are Daniel Craig's here. So yeah, it's a cool set. I like getting sets like that because it takes up less space.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to move. So,
what is your favorite James Bond movie?
Casino Royale.
Oh yeah, that's high up on my list too.
I love. Don't get me. And see that it's tough because I don't. Craig's probably my favorite Bond too. I know Quantum of Solace is a little rough.
Yeah, well, that was affected by what was going on around that time. I think it
was
the
writer's strike.
The writer's strike, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't fully fault them for that, but I love all his other movies.
Sure.
No Time to Die, the ending, you could argue it's a little
I haven't seen it yet, but I heard that Ana de Armas was a huge highlight of that movie.
Oh, she is. She most definitely is. She's probably my favorite Bond girl, but we'll just move on here to, speaking of which, I'm excited to see Ballerina. I didn't catch it this weekend, but
I had honestly forgotten that it had come out. I've been so focused on other stuff, but I do want to see that. I heard it's not doing so well at the box office, but the source that I heard that from wasn't exactly the most reputable of sources. So,
but it's true. I think domestically it did 25 million, and worldwide I want to say 50.
Was that its opening weekend?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, it's at 25 million
So-
in your opening weekend. That's not,
Yeah.
small numbers. So hopefully it can pick up. I mean, I don't know what the budget for it was, but
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that the action is good. I've heard that the plot is a little like here and there.
yeah.
But you watch these movies for the action, you know. Now don't get me wrong. John Wick 3, which I just rewatched. Hey Justin.
Oh, hello. We have a new sort of face in the room.
Hello, sorry, I don't have a camera on my computer.
No
All
worries,
good.
no worries. Well, we have Justin joining us today. He's a newcomer to the crew. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you. Nice to
All
meet
right.
you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Sorry we hadn't had the chance to talk earlier, but yeah, I'm certainly glad that you're here. Mr. Andrew over here was telling me about the Blu-ray box set of James Bond he just purchased, and a little
nice.
bit about we were chatting just a little bit about the ballerina. This is kind of like our pre-show before we get into the meat of things.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Do you want me to go through my other stack real quick?
yeah, real quick, let's see what you got.
All right, I'll go through this fast. I got Tropic Thunder.
Oh my goodness, I love
Which-
that movie.
I haven't actually seen, but I saw this at my thrift store. I
You
was like,
haven't
I
seen
gotta
it
get-
yet?
No, but that's
It's hilarious.
This is of the thrift store movies. This is when I was like, all right, let's go.
I tried
that-
convincing one of my high school teachers to let us watch that in class. He would not let us watch that.
That's funny.
Tom Cruise has like the defining performance of his career in that movie.
Yeah.
I tell you.
I forgot he was in that movie.
Yeah.
I thought the slipcover was cool. It's
Oh
got,
yeah.
and that. The next one is another one I haven't seen. Whoops. K-19.
K-19. Is that Harrison Ford?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I've honestly never even heard of that one.
I didn't
I
either.
haven't
but I
heard
was
of it either.
like, yeah, a lot of these are ones where I'm like, it's only $1, so even if I don't
I was
like
gonna say that must be why I was at the thrift store.
it. Right. This one's another one I haven't heard of, The Italian Job.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Well, now I have high expectations for it.
Yeah. If you've ever seen something like Ocean's 11 or something similar, yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
it's got that nice heist feel to it.
Now don't get scared with this one.
I love Gremlins.
And then came
think-
this. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I think it's a little bit funny. At one point in time, Gremlins was rated R.
Oh, gee, you
Yeah.
know what? For the time, I believe it. Now, Cam, I know you've done videos on this for the video games.
Yeah.
I found the movie for Hitman.
Oh, okay. Oh, the better one. Okay.
Yes, it's one with Timothy Oliphant.
Is that the unrated version?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's definitely the more definitive experience for that movie. It's not cinematic gold by any means,
Yeah.
but you can tell with that movie that they actually really tried, as opposed to Hitman Agent 47 with Rupert Friend.
Oof.
That movie was an abysmal pile. I mean, I don't like to dunk on movies too much because I know that
Yeah.
there's legitimate craftsmanship and whatnot, hard work that goes into it. But that movie is just a pile of dog shit.
Yeah, for a second I
Yeah.
got that confused with the Max Payne movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, that one I own too.
I remember renting that. It wasn't Blockbuster. It was a different rental store called Movie Gallery, and I remember I had rented just like 5 movies that week. It's just to kind of kill time, and that was one of them. Max Payne was one of them, and the other one was damn. I think it was called Dark of Night or something like that. It was a
You were
a
like,
Steven
ooh, Dark
Seagal.
Knight.
No. It was a Steven Seagal movie. I mean, Steven Seagal is like center on
Ooh.
the cover, but he's in the movie for like 5 minutes.
That tells me,
Oh.
dude, he is one of the actors of all time.
He is one of the actors of all time.
Oh man.
Anything else, Andrew?
No, that was it. That was it for this week. So
Okay. But before we get into it, Justin, since you're new here, tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of movies are you into? What's your favorite film? Give us the rundown of what makes you tick.
All right, so I like a variety of movies. My favorite movie and of all time is Raiders of the Lost Ark. I grew up watching
Nice.
that movie. My two favorite directors, I really like Christopher Nolan,
Okay.
and
Nice.
I've gotten really into David Fincher movies recently.
Ooh, yes.
Nice.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I just have to watch Alien 3. That's the last David Fincher film I have yet to
Ooh.
watch. I've seen the rest of his films though. They're really
I
good.
said 7 is his magnum opus.
That's my favorite. That's my
Oh.
favorite one.
It's so good. I love that film. Andrew, have you seen 7?
No, but I do own it.
Son of a bitch.
That
That's a
one's a
common
really
theme.
good one. What's in the
That
bar?
Yeah, one thing I'm trying to get better at is watching movies that I own that I haven't seen.
Just go through them alphabetically. Just like take all the movies you haven't seen, organize them alphabetically, and just run through the list.
I just watched Dante's Peak and Daylight for the first time. I got a
Nice.
double feature with those. They're fun movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is just
All right. Well, Justin, what is your all-time favorite film?
You already said.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But I
that's
guess
right.
a close second would be The Dark Knight. I really like that one as well.
Nice.
Gotcha. Yeah, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is one of those special movies that like I could put it on really anytime and enjoy it just as much as the last time. It's one of few movies that really does that for me.
Yeah, I agree. It was like one of the movies that as a kid you kind of like watch some like stuff that doesn't age so well. You're like, this was really bad, but Raiders of the Lost Ark is not that way for me. I've been watching those movies since I was
Don't you
at a
own it
very
on like
young
every
age.
format, right?
Yeah, I even have like a VHS of it in my room.
Hey, there you
Nice.
go. Well, I think part of the reason why it ages so well is just because of the practicality of it all. I mean, like the people that are doing the stunt work, you can see their lives are actually in danger.
Yes.
Yeah, the pacing is also another great part of that film.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. I'll say that.
That's my second. It was actually I'd say it's tied for my favorite film with Back to the Future.
Nice.
Back to the Future is pretty good.
I definitely got to revisit that at some point. I haven't watched Back to the Future probably in 20 years.
That's my whole life.
Yeah. Back in my day, I used to have to rewind my movies.
Cam lived like in Back to the Future Part 3. We used to take horses everywhere.
Yeah, right.
Go back down to the Blockbuster and Circuit City.
Oh, Circuit City. Good God. All right. Well, today we're discussing a film called The Green Knight. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with The Green Knight, it's from Studio A24, which, if you don't know, they're a smaller studio that pushes a lot of more indie type films. They're not the big budget blockbusters. They're not the ones that are going to do massive numbers at the box office. A couple of exceptions here and there, like Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's an A24 film. Dominated the box office. The Green Knight, on the other hand, was one of the ones that kind of fell through the cracks. It didn't really do so well. But that's not by any means a testament to its quality. And we'll definitely get into that. Andrew, now I understand that had been a first-time watch for you. I know that you watched it a couple of weeks ago because we kind of had to put the show off a little bit here and there. But what did you think of it?
So I was blown away by it. I mean, I don't think there's anything I didn't like. The cinematography is awesome.
Oh, outstanding.
I love, because that, I know we say music is kind of like a character. It's almost like a character in the movie, how the way that they do. And Dave Patel, as far as movies we've done on this show and just in general, might be my favorite performance, or at least top 3 that we've done. I mean,
Dev Patel is incredible.
And anything else up to this moment than this movie, so that just tells you I don't have any bias towards it. I'm not like, so but yeah, and it got me back into the story of like King Arthur and Gawain. Is that how you say it?
That's how it's pronounced in the movie. Is Gawain. But
okay.
I mean the more Western pronunciation would be Gawain. I mean, it kind of depends.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, for the purposes of this video, just that way, we know who we're talking about. I'll keep pronouncing him Gawain just for this video, but yeah.
And I liked the themes it played on of the like with the tree guy, with the game and how, and I know we'll get into it, but later in the movie when it's like his turn to get his head cut off and he can't do it. And then it's almost like his life it's like it flashes through him because you think, oh, he's lived, the way they presented at first is like, okay, he was able to escape and he's lived his life.
Yeah.
Only to find out, no, it's really, he's living it through his life in that moment there. And I thought that was really well done because for a split second, I was like, oh, he got away, he cheated the game or something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, but that's going to come with a cost, I'm sure. Turns out it was just, him visioning his life and everything. So yeah.
Really effective rug pull. Yeah. How about you, Justin?
I apologize, I have not seen that movie, but I am familiar with A24 though.
Okay. Now, what A24 films have you seen?
I've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've seen Dream Scenario. I also seen most of a movie called Beau is Afraid. I know that's Ari Aster.
Yes, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm struggling to think of a few more. I know there's the Smashing Machine that's coming out.
Let me see what else is there. There's The Wrestler. There's The Whale. There's Hereditary. The X trilogy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It Comes at Night.
It Comes at Night. Yep. And
Green Room. Sorry.
Green Room, The Witch.
The Witch, yeah.
And I think It Follows is either A24 or Blumhouse. I don't remember which one it is.
I can check. I want to say it's A24.
Oh, I've seen Civil War.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
Nice.
That one's a good one.
I love that.
Alex Garland. And speaking of Alex Garland, Ex Machina. That's another fantastic A24 film.
I forgot that was A24.
Oh yeah,
that one has Aubrey Plaza in it, right? Or
no,
that a different movie.
No, the Alicia Vikander.
All right,
is an Ex Machina as well as Donald Gleason.
All right,
that's right.
And Oscar Isaac. Yeah,
dude, Oscar Isaac is great in that movie.
He's so intense, and just out of nowhere he starts dancing with the other android.
Yeah, like what's going on here? This is like a solo thing.
Yeah, Donald Gleason is like, you tore up her picture, and Oscar Isaac's like, I'm gonna tear up the dance floor, dude. Check it out.
Oh man.
So the Green Knight, as Andrew said, is based off of the Arthurian poem, which is Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. If you're not familiar with it, very interesting. It's a nice piece of history. Little tough to digest at times, both the poem and the film. But I mean, their works of art in a league all their own.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this movie is directed by David Lowery, who, if you don't know, he directed the movie A Ghost Story, which is another kind of indie film, which is it's so good. It's definitely like a emotional drama. He directed the remake of Pete's Dragon, and he also directed episodes 2 and 3 of Skeleton Crew.
Oh,
that's pretty
right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he certainly has a visual flair that he likes to bring to his films, and The Green Knight is kind of the definitive example of that. Like you said, Andrew, the cinematography is unfreaking believable.
There's so many shots when I was watching it where I was like, this could be on my wall.
Yeah,
like I love this, and the color thing is just like you said.
Yes,
chef's kiss.
And color is a major factor in the storytelling style of this movie. I mean, of course, I would hope it would be with a name like The Green Knight, because it doesn't just refer to the Green Knight as an entity, of course, but I mean the way that the shots are composed, the way that they're the massive wide shots. I mean, it really nails home how small and insignificant Sir Gawain is, even though his story revolves around his thirst for glory, his need for
prove
grandeur
himself.
and
Yeah.
recognition, and then
Mhm.
and that's shown to us in really one of his first scenes where he's talking to King Arthur, and King Arthur asks him to tell him a story, and Gawain doesn't have one. He doesn't have a story to tell.
Mhm.
And then the Green Knight shows up, and he says, I will fight any of your knights, but any blow given to me will be returned in 1 year's time. And Gawain, being as thirsty for glory as he is, cuts the Green Knight's head off. Now, I gotta say that the Green Knight, well, when he stands back up and he's holding his head, that was chilling,
Mhm.
freaking chilling.
Well, yeah, because I hadn't read the poem in a long time, so it was kind of like a refresher. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh, he killed him. I was like, he won the game, I guess. And yeah, when he gets back up, I was like, ooh,
yes.
mommy kind of thing,
Yeah, it's I mean that's something this movie does really, really well, is the atmosphere. There's such like an overbearing sense of dread throughout
Mhm.
all of it. It's not heroic, it's not knightly by any
Mhm.
means. It is a story about one man leading himself to self-destruction. And I mean, the mood, the atmosphere, everything is just so tangible. And now, Dev Patel, as you had said, Andrew, I mean, he puts on a hell of a performance, and he has so much charisma.
Mhm.
Now, Justin, have you seen anything that Dev Patel has been in, like Monkey Man or Slumdog Millionaire or anything like that?
I'm familiar with Slumdog Millionaire. I haven't given that one a watch yet, but I'm aware of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably have to look at his IMDb to make sure I.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about this? Have you seen The Last Airbender?
I've seen a few episodes of the animated show.
Have you seen the live action film from M. Night Shyamalan from like 2008? I
Who
think.
has?
No.
Okay. Well,
I've heard some things about that movie.
well. Okay. You haven't seen it. Well, first of all, good. But Dev Patel plays Prince Zuko in that movie. Yeah, and I will say that as crappy as that movie is, Dev Patel is probably the best thing about it.
It has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has a what?
5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's generous.
You two were thinking the exact same thing.
see, great minds think alike. I mean, that's just how the universe works, man. But yeah. I mean, yeah, the Last Airbender is awful. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a terrible, terrible movie. But yeah, Dev Patel, I think he knew he was in a shitty movie, but he still said, you know what? I'm going to bring the intensity.
He did the opposite of Dakota Johnson with Madam Web, because she did not care about that movie at all.
No.
There's a few actors that are that way. I want to say Christian Bale is that way, where he just overacts in everything. Like he will give it up his all if it's not a good movie.
Yeah.
Same thing with David Cross.
Mm-hmm.
David Cross is hilarious.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Dave. I always win.
Yeah.
I never lose.
Yeah, I mean, well, Christian Bale's overacting is sometimes what saves whatever movie he's in. Like Thor: Love and Thunder.
Right. That's what I was thinking when I said that.
Yeah. I mean, Gore the God Butcher, nothing like he is in the comics. We don't even see him kill any gods, which, whatever. It is what it is. But, I mean, he acted the shit out of that character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He's without a doubt the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
Even though the way that he did his character was bad. His performance.
He lived long enough to see himself become the villain.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And every time I think of that, the first thing I think of is during his first battle with Thor in the streets. He has Thor against the car, and he's like, I want you to know this is going to hurt.
Wow, that was actually better.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean,
we gotta clip that and use that as like a sound bite.
Oh my god, so cheesy, so cheesy. But I mean,
Yeah.
it happened, and I enjoyed it for what it was. But the movie itself wasn't good. But anyways,
So
It's unfortunate because Taika Waititi is a fairly decent director, in my opinion.
oh yeah, when he's
yeah.
but he's really good. But when he's not, he's really not.
Well, when he
Yeah.
has the proper direction from the studio, like that's why Ragnarok is so good, because they keep within the line of the humor. But then Love and Thunder, this Marvel's like, do whatever, Taika, and he just went way over, and so
Yeah, I mean, Jojo Rabbit is definitely his best film, without a doubt. But yeah, he definitely needs to kind of have the reins pulled on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Now-
a lot of people.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to move on to different topics. So I'll let you continue.
Oh, I was just going to say a lot of people think that complete creative control is always the best case scenario, but I mean,
No,
if you take a look at George Lucas with some of the Star Wars prequels, don't get me wrong, I enjoy those movies, but nobody was saying no to George. So
Yeah.
he made some mistakes there.
what if I have Anakin say he doesn't like sand and go into an explanation of how it affects his daily life? Okay, yeah. Yes, George. Yes, that's wonderful. Let's do it. Let's put that in the script now, even though the script was finished 2 weeks ago.
And
To
Jar
this
Jar.
day, I do not know the plot of The Phantom Menace.
I was about to explain it, but then I kind of realized I don't really know either.
Basically, this apprentice, well, a guy, to prove a point to his bosses, bets on a slave boy, wins the slave boy, brings him back to show him off to his bosses. Bosses go, eh. And then that messes him up, and he's like, kid, you're a failure. And then decides to, and then fights his the company's enemy apprentice. He fights him and then
Oh my
dies.
gosh.
And then his apprentice fights that apprentice and splits him in half. Doesn't kill him, but splits him in half. And then he has to tell the boy he's a failure for about 10 years. Then they have a brotherhood. I'm going into the next movie, so stop there.
And so, see, the way that you explained it right there, the first thing I thought of was something like Rick and Morty, where Rick and Morty portal into the Star Wars universe, and Morty looks around, and is like, "Oh, geez, Rick, where are we?" And Rick starts going, "Ah, son of a bitch, we're in the Phantom Menace, Morty. This is a movie that runs on nostalgia and angst. Nobody talks unless they're spouting needless exposition."
That's true.
All right, well, that was a hell
wanted
of
to
a
ask
rabbit
about
we
the
just
Green
chased.
Knight.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
actually a point too. I believe I heard that this film was delayed a year from when it, and I guess maybe part of that was the pandemic.
Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it, because I think the movie was finally released
I see.
early 2021. No, I feel like it was before that. I think it was 2019.
I
The
remember
release
when
for
it
this was
came out.
2021.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But this is an example, and unfortunately, we live in with the movie world. A lot of people, specifically like casual movie fans, look at the box office success of a movie,
Yeah.
and they let that determine whether or not they're going to watch it,
Yeah.
or that equates to quality. It's like that. Look at Thunderbolts, great movie. It had great word of mouth, and it still lost money.
Yeah.
And this is an example of a movie. I'm going to call it a masterpiece. It really is. The way it's crafted and done, and it didn't do well at the box office, but that doesn't mean that it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Because I feel like 10, 15 years ago that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Back then, people would go to movies just to see a movie.
Mhm.
Now people go to movies to have an expectation met, and
or an experience.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
kind of expensive now.
yeah. Well,
True.
Here's the thing. We live in a day, with the advent of social media and big influencers and stuff. People rely on the internet to tell them whether or not they should be interested in something.
Exactly.
And the Green Knight didn't get a whole lot of marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really get great word of mouth. And unfortunately, once someone starts to hear, "Oh, I didn't really like this movie," then suddenly they don't like it either, even though they haven't seen it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very unfortunate, and that's a huge reason why why they don't make them like they used to. Movies like The Last Duel with Adam Driver and
Oh,
Matt Damon.
Oh, I've
Fan
been meaning to see that. Ridley Scott, right?
Yes,
it's a
Ridley
great
Scott.
movie. I loved it.
Freaking tastic movie. Bombed at the box office. And I understand that the pandemic had a little bit some to do with that and whatever. But I mean,
But still,
that movie
this was
shouldn't have.
supposed to,
It shouldn't have bombed.
that was only like 2 months before No Way Home, and No Way Home made almost $2 billion.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like this was beginning 2021. This was late, and I think too with like a Marvel movie, like let's say someone saw Brave New World, entertaining movie, but it's fine at best, at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
So then if they're seeing the next Marvel project, they're like, the last one, even though they're two separate, they're like, but then versus like for people that saw Thunderbolts and you think of Fantastic Four, they're like, ooh, I'm excited for the next Marvel project because the last one I saw is good.
Yeah.
But an example like this, like you said, we also live in a time where marketing is so important.
Yeah.
You have
so important.
You almost have to have like you have to like top tier marketing to get even break even at this point. Because also streaming, people know they can. Mickey 17, 2 weeks after it was released in the theater, you could rent it at home. 2 weeks. You're not going to make your money in 2 weeks. It's mind boggling to me.
Yeah. And that's Bong Joon-ho. That's Parasite. That is Snowpiercer. A super accomplished Korean filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
And Parasite won Best Picture at the Oscars.
Exactly.
But no one came out to support Mickey 17.
Mind blowing. And I will say, on Justin's point, also too, the theaters are hurting themselves too with prices and then trailers. I don't have an AMC near me, but I just heard that they were going to add more trailers, like more ads to the time. And a lot of people were like, hey, your trailers and ads, it's already 30 minutes. And you're telling me, hey, I need to get here at 7, but the movie doesn't start till 7:30, 7:40-ish. And so that's 30 minutes of my time wasted.
Yeah.
And then you're going to make your stuff more expensive. You're robbing me of my time and my money at that point.
Right.
So that too, that hurts. It's just this endless circle that they're just hurting themselves.
Yeah.
I remember when I saw Interstellar towards the end of last year, I saw it re-release for its 10th anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in line getting popcorn and a hot dog, and I was like expecting it not to cost as much as it did. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, I could have bought this on 4K Blu-ray.
Oh yeah,
like
popcorn and a hot dog, that's like $30.
I know. I could buy the best version, and it would come with a digital code, a 4K Blu-ray, and I could rewatch that movie as many times as I want.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the point is they're hurting themselves. The average, it's like I heard someone say between him and his wife, he spends on average like $25 a visit just on concessions. And while those aren't, huh?
That's not even including tickets.
Right, exactly. So then you're looking at, it's like for me and my family to go to the movies, it's more expensive than eating out at a restaurant. So that's why, this is a secret, I like cargo shorts.
You just walk in with a Subway foot long in your pocket.
Exactly. I'll have
gotta bring a tuna fish sandwich.
I'll bring like a box of candy, but it's loud. But fortunately, they play music in the lobby, so I'm like, I'm good. So sometimes I'll walk like I have a limp, so it's like quiet. But then I have to do that every time, even if I don't bring in candy, because if the same workers recognize me and I don't have a limp all of a sudden.
So are they strict employees? Because I feel like a lot of places the employees wouldn't care. They're just doing their job.
Yeah. Well, like even the part where you should show your ticket and someone sees your ticket and they're like, all right, theater, half the time there's not even someone standing there. So you could just like walk in, go to the bathroom, and then just walk into a theater. Like So yeah, it's just interesting. But
Yeah.
and then theater etiquette has gotten horrible. I mean, I've had instances even within the last year of people on their phones or talking or laughing at a moment that's not supposed to be laughed at. And it's like, you paid and I paid good money to be here. Why are you being a distraction? Why are you on your phone?
Yeah.
Like, anyway, it's just interesting. Yeah.
No, I tell you, if I had come across that, back when Green Knight was in theaters, I'd probably riot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would become the Punisher.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm locked into this movie. You will not ruin this experience for me.
Exactly. Oh, I know. I hate that when I'm locked. Yeah. It's like I had people when I went to see Joker 2, and that movie was it was
Sorry
okay.
for your loss there.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That I was robbed of time. But there were two kids, teen boys, a few years younger than me, and like just being obnoxious. They were on their phone the whole time. They were laughing at the court scene, which that's not a humorous scene. And I'm like, dude, like I'm trying to watch the movie. Like I don't know. It just is interesting, you know.
To this day, my best theater experience was we talked about streaming. I remember when the Suicide Squad came out. I actually
Mm.
saw that with my dad in the theater, but that was around like when movies were coming back to theaters, but not everybody was going to see it. There was nobody else in that theater, so it was just
Nice.
completely quiet, and it was just a really good theater experience.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
Cam's favorite is when he saw Minecraft because that was complete quiet.
Oh yeah,
no,
sure.
no chicken jockey.
Well, luckily I didn't have that. The
Good.
scene came and went, and it was mostly little kids in the theater, so it wasn't that bad. But also being that it was mostly little kids in the theater, they wouldn't shut the fuck up.
I had that
But-
when my family and I saw Super Mario Bros. Two little girls were sitting next to me that had seen the movie clearly. So when Peaches came on, the song, they started breaking out musical number right there. I'm like, okay.
Peaches,
Whatever.
peaches, 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 peaches.
I can't blame them because I started going, So, anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, the Blue Knight, Dark Knight, Green Knight.
Yeah. So yeah, the Dark Knight stars Christian Bale and Heath Ledger. No, this
Tis but a scratch.
yeah.
Exactly.
So the marketing for this movie, I don't know if the trailers did a really good job of communicating exactly what type of experience this movie would be. Because I've spoken with a lot of people about it who've said that it's not what they expected. So I think that they were kind of going into it expecting big kingly battles and round table type stuff, but it's really just a point A to point B story. And I actually did a video about this back when I was still part of Geek News Now, about the Green Knight, where I talk about how the movie doesn't have a tangible antagonist because the quest itself is the antagonist. And you have Sir Gawain going from location to location and experiencing event to event to event, and that's kind of what it is. It almost feels like a montage of different short stories.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it.
And well, for example, my absolute favorite scene in the movie, like no A24 film has topped this scene for me, is whenever Gawain meets Winifred, who is the girl who's played by I can't remember her name, but she's the girl who played Carly Morgenthau in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, yeah, I know who. Yeah, I don't remember her name, but I know who you're talking about.
I mean, from the moment he sets foot in that house to the moment that he leaves is some of the most spine-tingling, like skin-crawling type stuff I have ever seen. He like for example, he walks in the first time he sees the bed. There's nobody in that. There's no one in the bed. When he meets Winifred, she doesn't walk towards him. She floats towards him. Now, there isn't a shot of her feet floating across the floor. It's just the way that she slides closer to him that you can just see. Um,
And that's what I like about the show Don't Tell.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a different way. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
oh yeah. You know what?
Words are hard.
Well, yeah. I mean, this movie isn't one that feels like it has to spoon feed the information to the audience. Like, well, for example, whenever he's accosted by those bandits and he's tied up and left for dead, the camera does that long rotation where when it pans back across to him, he's just a skeleton, and then it rotates again, and then it pans back to him, and he's normal. What's going on with that? Who knows? But it's freaking intense.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's the good kind of
Exactly, very much so.
And
I haven't found a way to reference one particular movie with this movie. I think that's the first time.
I really hope you don't. I really hope you don't. Yeah, as Sir Gawain is running through the marshlands, you can just see the shadow of something going behind him.
I will think of a way.
Oh God,
Cam's and with that,
And Justin, just so you know, we're talking about the movie The Emu War. It was. So there's a bit of a story behind that. My best friend, his name is Devin. He told me about an event that went on in Australia. This is a real thing, actually. Back in the 1930s, where Australia was completely overrun by emus. Like to the point where it was changing the landscape. It was destroying crops. It was killing livestock. It was like an uncontrollable amount of emus in Australia. And so they rallied their military to go out and kill as many emus as they could. But their military was so incompetent that, a herd of 20,000 emus, they fired off 5,000 rounds from a truck-mounted machine gun and only managed to kill like 20 of them.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, look it up. It's hilarious. It's interesting, but it's hilarious. There was a movie made about it. It's not, a serious retelling of the events. It's very much like one of those spoof parody kind of movies.
Like a cocaine bear?
What's that?
Like a cocaine bear?
No. more like epic movie or date movie or scary movie or disaster movie.
Superhero movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even worse.
But worse, exactly. And it's so bad. And Andrew and I watched that for the first time for one of these streams. I think it was like a couple of months ago at this point.
Yes.
And it's
an hour and 10 minutes, but it feels like 3 when you watch it.
God damn. Yeah, it's not my most hated film. Like my most hated film will always be Artemis Fowl, but it is without a doubt the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen some really bad movies.
How does it compare to The Room?
I would sit down and watch The Room 5 times in a row before I would turn on the Emu War again.
Oh wow!
And I may or may not break down and buy the collector's edition Blu-ray.
You're just gonna get on stream one day. It's like, hey, look what I have.
I thought about that earlier.
I'm just gonna end the stream right there.
You know what? I gotta look it up and see how much. Anyway, stay on topic.
Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah.
but yes, my favorite scene is when he meets Winifred. Well, when he's holding her skull in his hands, but when he looks down, it's just her head and her face there.
That was so well done.
He drops her and her face rolls towards her body. Like that's creepy. And I think it's her that tells him the Green Knight is someone you know, which that's not exactly a plot point that ever really gets resolved. It's like, oh, the Green Knight is someone he knows. Well, who could that be? Well, the Green Knight is. I mean, if you've read the poem too, you'll be kind of maybe leaning in the same direction. The Green Knight is more kind of a projection of Gawain's own thirst for glory, and how that can destroy a man. Because whenever he runs away from the Green Knight, in the last scene of the movie, like you said, Andrew, he sees a vision of how his life, is going to end up turning out if he continues on this path. and it ends with his death and his kingdom ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So, whenever he comes out of that vision and he accepts his fate at the hands of the Green Knight, you can see that the Green Knight is visibly, satisfied or approving of his decision. You don't see the Green Knight cut his head off.
Mm-hmm.
The ending is left deliberately ambiguous, and there's arguments to be made for which way you think it should go based on your interpretation of what you saw. So, on the one hand, the Green Knight cuts off his head because he, keeps his word. He says, off with your head. And he returns the blow that Gawain gave him. On the other hand, the Green Knight maybe didn't cut off his head, and he says, off with your head, meaning take off and keep your head. Because Gawain now knelt before the Green Knight as a changed man.
Mm-hmm.
So you could, so you can look at it either way based on, like I said, your interpretation of the character, your interpretation of the character's journey. That's something that I love so much about A24 is that they don't give you everything.
Well, and I will say, I always forget his name, but the guy that plays the Green Knight has been in a ton of A24 movies. But I will say because the explanations of the way it could go, the way that the Green Knight is portrayed, I really do think it's the second one where he doesn't actually cut off his head.
Yeah.
And maybe the trope of like he does the sword down and stops right before and then tells him to go off. I could see that. I hadn't really thought of that until now, but hearing you say that, I definitely think the argument could be made that that's what happens.
Yeah,
maybe,
for sure.
Maybe after Gawain, right? Is that how we're saying it?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't matter.
I don't even remember. The guy.
There's going to be a test later.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Andrew calls him the guy, and it's Elijah Wood wearing his Spy Kids 3D outfit.
You have to spell it phonetically.
Right. Well, that's how I get kicked off the shows because I can't spell, No. Ask me to spell restaurant, and that, we'll just,
Spell Fahrenheit.
Ooh, that's worse. Oof. We'll just figure out how dumb I am. But I
don't know how to spell it.
But I think because he has the vision of how his life would turn out if he continues the path, like you said, if the Green Knight lets him go because he could be a changed man, I think his life turns out differently.
Yeah. Definitely. And I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly how the poem definitively ended, because it's been a while. It's been a while since I read it, but I mean, this is a pretty faithful retelling of that story. I mean, right down to Gawain coming across the Lord and Lady. The lady seems to lust after him, but the Lord lusts after him too, and it's. I mean, like the major story beats that are present in that poem are translated to the screen exceptionally well, and it really is a riveting movie. You're not always going to know what direction it's going, but that's what makes this movie so great is that you don't know what's going to happen once that scene is over.
Well, and on that point, what I thought this movie did so well, and this only happens to a few movies that I watch, and I'm sure you have this too, Cam. You get so absorbed in it, and the world, and the building, and the lore that when it ends, it's almost like when you've been reading a book for a long time or wake up from a long nap, you're kind of like have to come back to like reality.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could have watched, if that movie is 4 or 5 hours long, I would have been entertained the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so well done.
Yeah, it really was. And, it does have a lot of those moments where it's like, well, what's going on with that? But like when he came across the giants.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
what the heck was that? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What was that? But I'm glad it was there.
Yeah.
Because it was freaking epic.
When you think about that time too, especially when this poem was written, a lot of people would have like visions or dreams. So it's possible a lot of the stuff like that where it's like, what is going on? It could be he's having some kind of dream or vision.
Yeah.
It's just not portrayed that way. It's meant to be like he's actually seeing. Or who knows? Maybe in that time there were giants like that. I don't know.
Right.
You know.
Well, just the first shot of this movie. I mean, like what? So
Yeah.
my wife and I sat down and watched this. I bought it on Blu-ray. I bought it because I had heard a little bit about it, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and get it. I unfortunately didn't get to see it in theaters. I wish I did, but
Nice.
well, we sat down and we watched it. And now, mind you, this isn't the kind of movie that she typically watches, but I mean, even she was locked in. And that very first shot where you see Gawain sitting on that throne and the crown slowly comes down on his head,
Mhm.
and then and then once it lands there, his whole head catches on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Ooh, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it."
Oh, I know. It's just so well done. Like I almost feel like it. If someone's listening, that it's like I'm making it up. How much I keep saying this movie's just so well done.
It really is.
It's just like I said. I don't think there's a single shot in the movie that I wouldn't be mad having on my wall.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
it's one of those movies where when you see that first shot, you know that this isn't going to be something that you've ever seen before. It's not like it's not an action movie. It's not it has some thriller elements to it, but this is very much like a fantasy epic. Now, if a fantasy epic can encompass a lot of different things, you could say that and equate it to something like Lord of the Rings. You could take that and equate it to something like Aragon, or you could equate it to something like Dungeons and Dragons, or something similar. This movie, it's part of that genre, but it's almost like it's very much its own thing. It's not like any other movie that I've ever seen before.
And that's what I love so much about a studio like A24 or Neon or something. What they do so well is because they work with so many indie, directors or producers. Every movie's like that. It's like I haven't seen anything like this before.
Yeah.
And that's what just makes them so good. I mean, I haven't seen every A24 film, but I've yet to see a bad one. Like there's I'm satisfied in some kind of way.
Yeah.
I will say Dream Scenario is probably one of the weaker ones.
Is that the one with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, it is the one with Nicolas Cage. I wasn't bored watching Dream Scenario, but at the same time, it did make me cringe at moments. But most of A24 movies do.
There are some weird ones. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Weren't they the ones that did Human Centipede?
No. That was.
Fortunately, no.
Crap. What is that?
Well, unfortunately, I have to look up the movie.
Yeah.
That's going to be on your search history now.
Yeah, it's
right.
It's not a big studio. My brain wants to say that it was Blumhouse before they really got big, but I know that's not the case.
I'm looking it up real quick.
Yeah. Human Centipede is
on some list.
Human Centipede is a tough watch.
Six Entertainment Company.
You've seen it?
I've seen it. Oh yeah, I saw it. I watched it one day. I was staying over at a friend's house, and he and I liked to watch like really weird movies together. And the topic of the Human Centipede came up, and he was like, "Oh, I have that." I was like, "Oh. Shit."
That's like one of the grosser movies I'm aware about. One of the grossest ones that also grossed me out was like a movie called Event Horizon. If you've ever heard of that,
I love Event Horizon.
I haven't seen
that one's so gross.
I love cosmic horror. I freaking love cosmic horror.
It definitely got me invested. I'm just kind of disappointed that the full version does not exist anymore. Like really? I heard like an hour was cut from it.
I believe that. I don't know too much about that, but I mean, I love the film in any form that it takes. It's not like a masterpiece, but it's. I mean, as far as a cosmic horror film goes, it's one of the better ones, I'd say. And I watched Sam Neill. I love Sam Neill. I don't care what he's in.
Yeah, he is. He's good. I watched Soldier for the first time last week with Kurt Russell.
Nice.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was like great or anything.
Yeah.
But apparently, I didn't know this until the end that the same writer of Blade Runner, and he said when he was writing it that it's supposed to be like it's in the same universe as Blade Runner. So he has like Easter eggs. So now I gotta like look up a video essay to see if they're Easter eggs.
Well, yeah, I mean that's definitely a very good a very good example of, you know, just because your movies have the same writers, the director is really what kind of makes or breaks it.
Exactly.
And I forget who directed Soldier, but he's certainly no Ridley Scott.
No, he is not. Because there were a couple times where I was like, "Do I want to keep watching this? This is like it was kind of rushed. Like the story was very rushed, even for an hour and a half movie."
Well, here's the thing, and I think it might have been you that I spoke to about this before. I honestly don't remember, but when it comes to the 80s and 90s, the 80s and 90s were like the advent, the renaissance of action cinema, and it got to the point of you don't watch an action movie for the story.
Mm-hmm.
You watch an action movie for the action star. And that's where we got our Jean-Claude Van Dammes. That's where we got our Kurt Russells, our Arnold Schwarzeneggers, our Sylvester Stallones. I mean, the action star was what drew the crowd.
Yeah.
And Kurt Russell didn't have quite the star power as someone like, you know, Schwarzenegger or Stallone or something. But as far as action stars go, I enjoy the hell out of him. I think he's great.
I still need to watch Escape from New York.
Yeah, I do too.
Escape from New York is actually one of the better ones. I would recommend that movie to anybody who likes action. Isn't there a sequel to it? I don't think so.
Oh, what you say about the action, that sounds very true. I remember seeing an interview with Quentin Tarantino, and he says that his least favorite decade is the 80s due to what he just said about it being mainly on action stars and not so much of the story.
Well, even the early 2000s had some doozies with action, because there's got to be some plot. Like you said, Cam, most of them you watch for the action, and that can be, when it's done well, it's good. But then you have what's the movie? Zoe Saldana that you showed me, where there's like
Columbiana.
I mean, when you have like million cuts for every thing, it's like, good grief.
Or you have your time cop.
Yeah. And the guy, it's over here doing this.
Oh God, yeah, Justin. If you scroll up through our chat, you'll find a video that I sent everybody of Jean-Claude Van Damme in a movie called Time Cop doing a knife fight with somebody.
We almost have to talk about that movie now.
If I had a dime for every movement Jean-Claude Van Damme made in that knife fight, I'd have 2 dimes. Because his opponent has 2 knives and he's doing a whole bunch of this, and Van Damme's just doing.
Yeah,
I hate that movie.
I came across this podcast and it made me think of us, this movie podcast. It said, when you watch enough movies, you start to enjoy the bad ones. And that's kind of how I would sum up not the show every week, but like a movie like Time Cop, not good at all. It's probably horrible, but you enjoy it because of the silliness, like the joking. Yeah. It's like the unrealisticness of it.
I saw a bad movie last year. I didn't go to the theater as much last year because I was busy, but like there was one that I was really looking forward to, and it was such a, I don't want to be mean, but it was a huge disappointment. I'm wondering if.
Well, you come on.
It was. You may have heard of it. It's called Megalopolis.
That movie was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I have thoughts about Megalopolis.
You know, you can't even watch that movie anywhere unless it's on like a Southwest Airlines.
Time to go to the 70s.
Because Martin Scorsese, it was like, it's not on physical media. It's not streaming. You can't rent it anywhere. It's literally like Southwest Airlines, or I think there's one theater like in his local area you can watch it at, but that's it.
Yeah, and I will say I 100% commend Martin Scorsese for No,
was Coppola.
that was that was Coppola. I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh, I
Scorsese.
said Scorsese by mistake.
Yeah,
too.
okay,
Yeah.
but yes, it was Francis Ford Coppola. I 100% commend him for self-financing and making a completely original film.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think that's awesome. I mean,
it's
everybody told him it's a bad idea, but he's like, no, I want to do it. And I think that's awesome.
He had $170 million to throw at a movie that no one thought was going to be good, and by God, he did it. And I saw it in theaters, and I'm okay. There was one scene in the movie that I actually really loved, and it was when Adam Driver was super drunk, super high, and he was freaking out while that monologue was happening in the background. I thought that scene was actually super well done, and Adam Driver just throwing everything at the wall. I love that. I love Adam Driver to death. But everything around that movie, like, you know, I'm 3/4 of the way through the movie, and I have no idea what the hell is going on.
I was just laughing at the end. I was just like, what am I watching?
You know what, Cam? It seems like if you're high, you can enjoy that movie.
I mean that's going to be after the show, but I'm not putting on Megalopolis.
That's right.
I don't know what I don't know what it was with that movie. I mean, there's the whole time stop plot thread that was put in there, and I'm like, ooh, this is going to be like a transcendent journey through time and space. You know, the opening scene is Adam Driver jumping off a building and going, time stop, and
the trailer is so cool. The trailer is awesome. A lot. Yeah, the trailer made it look like it was going to be a good movie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like, you know, a disaster movie with time bending elements and stuff. And what I got was a modern day Roman drama, complete with incest and assassination, like most Roman dramas would have, with nonsensical dialogue, half-ass performances, and writing that was so crazy that I couldn't make heads or fucking tails of it. So,
oh my gosh, the crossbow scene.
God, people in modern day New Rome walking around with smartphones and togas. Like,
So I was looking it up just to confirm. Coppola, yeah, so the only way you can watch it is I think it's Southwest Airlines, but he was also doing a tour of the movie at different select theaters. But after that, it's like, so you can't watch it.
Now, I mean, it may or may not be on the 7 Seas. I'm joking.
Well, yeah. I'm sure it's there somewhere, some booty to plunder. But
why would anybody go through that amount of effort?
So somebody on YouTube uploaded like a 10-hour video that's just a loop of Adam Driver going, so go back to the club.
Oh my gosh! And you watched all 10 hours, right?
I got about 6 hours into it. I'd say the best part was at about 3 hours and 46 minutes. I mean, that was just riveting cinema.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a movie called A Cure for Insomnia? It's an obscure movie.
I've heard of a movie called The Cure for Wellness.
It's a little bit longer. Drew, are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, it's called A Cure for Insomnia.
Yeah. No, I hear it's great the second time you watch it. You'll see what I'm.
Oh, sorry.
You'll see what I'm talking about when I say it's a great rewatch.
Okay, it's a 1987 experimental film. Cam, listen to it. Holds the Guinness World Record for the longest movie ever made. Do you want to guess how long it is before I tell you?
Okay, well, but before you tell me, let's take some guesses here. So the longest movie that I know of is Gone with the Wind at 4.5 hours long. Is it longer than Gone with the Wind?
It is longer than it is gone. It is longer. Just a little longer.
A little bit.
How much longer?
About 80 hours longer.
Holy shit!
It's an 85-hour movie.
You catch so many more details the second time you watch it.
It says the film is not structured like a traditional movie. It mainly consists of poet L.D. Grobin reciting his own 4,080-page poem, interspersed with X-rated film footage and rock music videos. The film was designed to reprogram biological clocks for insomniacs.
That's not a movie. That's a fucking PR nightmare.
It's got a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. How would people watch this movie?
I don't know. Just imagine
You gotta stick with it until about 30 hours. That's when it really gets good.
Just imagine the MPAA who has to review it.
Oh my god.
No, Zach, it's so much worse.
Someone gave a 10-star review of it. And then someone gave it a 1
It's probably
star.
one of those ironic 10-star reviews. It's like one of the movies of all time.
Listen to this review says, "Glad that's over." I'll sum it up. It says, "Well, I spent the last year watching whenever possible, this 85-hour film, if you can call it that. Even if you don't call it a movie, it's nonetheless brilliant. Any man who can film a movie of this magnitude deserves an Oscar for best attempt." Imagine if that was an Oscar. The best attempt goes to.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I
gotta see where to watch this. We gotta review this next week. We'll spend the whole week.
The reason I think it is a cure for insomnia, just from the standpoint of you will not be awake by the time you finish it.
Yeah, I'll be dead.
That's right. For some reason, let's see.
I would let Edward Norton from American History X curb stomp me before I sit through an 85-hour movie.
That's insane. That no, I couldn't. That's all I have to say. I just don't understand.
It's a little bit longer.
Now I will say, there has got to be an 85-hour cut of the Emu War somewhere out there.
Oh, and I'm a little disappointed because the collector's edition Blu-ray is sold out on their site. You can only get the standard for $20.
Oh, well,
I found out that there was a collector's edition for the Super Mario movie, not the new one, like 1992 Super Mario movie.
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, no, there's like, I think they call it like the Plumber's Edition or something like that. And I was like, I looked at the price. It was like $200 or something like that. I'm like, who would buy the Plumber's Edition of the Mario movie?
Not for $200. If it was like $20, I may just say, "Hey, I have this." But good grief. Oh, you love The Cure for Insomnia? That's cool.
A childhood favorite.
Everybody remembers the scene in Mario where King Koopa goes, "Monkey."
Oh my gosh, that.
I like the scene where he calls Tyrannosaurus Rex a single-cell organism.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Oh my god!
Well, like, what the hell kind of rabbit hole did we fall down while talking about the Green Knight?
I don't remember how this. Oh, it was because we were talking about potentially bad A24 movies.
That's
okay,
right.
Well,
yeah.
So there are none. There are none yet.
No, I would say
Dream Scenario was.
I would say a low tier A24 movie is still a good movie overall.
Yeah.
It was entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't 85. Dude, that's insane. I mean, imagine the extended edition of that movie is 100 hours. You know?
Oh my god, 15 hours of deleted scenes.
Yeah, right. Oh
just imagine if the director was like Stanley Kubrick or Fincher. Yeah, we need to do 100 takes of this.
He just puts it all in the movie. Yeah.
All the actors are already done shooting, and they call them back for reshoots, and they're like, "Oh my god!"
I just spent 2 years filming this movie.
So stupid.
Oh my god!
How did you even come across that movie?
I heard it somewhere on the internet. I forgot about.
Yes,
I forgot
he can't
where.
say his mom's watching.
Where on the internet? The fucking dark web?
No. The great thing is that movie is not accessible right now. Like, you cannot find it anywhere. It's considered lost media.
Christopher Walken's director's cut. I love Christopher Walken.
Oh yeah, he's great.
I remember
How bad?
the first time I saw Christopher Walken was actually in
See this watch?
Kangaroo Jack.
No kidding.
Yeah, Kangaroo Jack was it's a movie. It's certainly a movie.
The first time I ever saw Christopher Walken, he was giving Bruce Willis a golden watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Pulp Fiction.
Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction. Okay.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
I have only ever seen that movie once, and it was a long time ago. And I remember because I watched it when I was a little bit too young to watch it. But I remember kind of checking out whenever Uma Thurman overdoses on cocaine and they have to shoot her with adrenaline.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, not watching that now.
A fun fact I learned about that movie, because I didn't realize this.
Joe Dirt, yes.
I love Joe Dirt. That's like, it's so bad, it's hilarious. It's like so bad, but it's so funny.
Have you ever heard of The Incredible Bulk?
Yes.
Or the Amazing Bulk?
Yes.
I was gonna say the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction, Eric Stoltz. He was the original Marty McFly.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
Oh, I didn't know that was Eric Stoltz. He looks so different.
I know. I didn't even know it was him until like a few weeks ago. The Amazing Bulk.
Yeah, that's from Asylum
it's got
Studios.
A 1.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
well, because that studio does nothing but make knockoff superhero movies.
Oh, is it like a Sharknado studio?
Not even that. It's actually, I guess you could kind of compare it to that. But
Sharknado's the kind of movie that you watch and you go, I could direct a movie.
That's how I felt after watching Megalopolis. Yeah.
And that was from the guy that directed The Godfather. Like, God damn it.
I'm struggling to. I'm struggling to see any good movies outside the Godfather trilogy. Apocalypse Now is okay. Still haven't finished Bram Stoker's Dracula though.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one with Gary Oldman and Keanu Reeves, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Keanu Reeves and his beyond fake English accent. Now, Zach, if you're still here and you're still watching, hit us with a comment about The Green Knight, because I remember I kind of spoke with you a little bit about it before. You said that you really love that movie, so I'm curious to know what your thoughts on it are. What we've kind of been chasing a whole bunch of different rabbits on this video here. So it's
People
been
are
about
call this episode.
Yeah, I apologize for that. That's probably my fault.
This is every week. No, this is every week.
Every now and then we can stay on topic, but we do kind of tend to veer off into different tangents, which is totally fine. You know,
this is fun.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to Andrew about this. I mean, this show is it's not just talk about a movie of the week. It's a celebration of film in general, a discussion of film in general, and whatever direction our discussion takes is totally fine, just as long as as long as the movie's part of it somewhere.
Right.
What do you think about Are you talking about Apocalypse Now by Francis Ford Coppola? Because
Apocalypse Now is all right.
Yeah. The whole movie was a fever dream. Yes, I agree. The whole movie was a fever dream. Another
longer movie. There's a work print version of Apocalypse Now that's like 5 hours long.
I will not watch that.
It's also in like 144p resolution as well.
Okay, it's bad enough having to watch a movie nowadays in a 4:3 aspect ratio, but I will not watch a movie in a 4:3 aspect ratio at 144p. It's not going to happen. It's just not.
No, I don't even watch YouTube videos like that. You can't see anything. It's like, geez.
The Green Knight was legitimate, like a melatonin-induced fever dream. Yeah, that's not, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, that's I do like trippy movies a lot, actually, as long as they're trippy with a purpose. Mm-hmm. And movies like The Green Knight, movies like, well, especially Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know, another fantastic A24 film. I mean, it's a movie that takes chances with its direction. It goes way out of the box, and I really appreciate that. Apocalypto.
I gotta look that up. I don't know.
I never saw Apocalypto.
I've never heard of that.
That was that's a movie that kind of got lost to obscurity, and I'll be honest, I haven't even thought about that movie until just now. But Yeah, Apocalypto I think came out in 2000 and oh Jesus, 2007 or 8.
Oh,
eight.
so close, so close.
Okay. Uh, I don't remember who stars in it, but yeah, I mean that movie was the talk of the town for like 2 days, and then for some reason it just dropped off the face of the earth, and no one talks about it anymore. And I remember that it came out around the time of another movie called 10,000 BC, which kind of overshadowed Apocalypto. Now I couldn't tell you why, because I didn't think that 10,000 BC was much of a good movie, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's immediately what shows up after Google is after I look up Apocalypto, 10,000 BC is like the people also search for thing.
Yeah. It was about like an Aztec time frame hunter. Yes, that does track, because I think in the poster of Apocalypto there is a like an Aztec pyramid in the background or something. Green Knight was a mix of emotional and moral challenges focused internally. Yes, I agree. I agree. I mean, that's the main crux of the story is Gawain searching for glory, but meeting challenges along the way that challenge him not physically, but psychologically and emotionally and morally. And every step of the way, he makes the wrong decision. So by the time he reaches the Green Knight, he's broken. He's ready. He's just ready for his journey to be over. And then when the time comes for him to face the music, he runs away, and which upturns his whole character arc, and the flash forward sequence where he has the vision of his life. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Y'all need to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're talking about Apocalypto, right?
I'll definitely check it out. See if I can watch it anywhere.
There's probably 20 words in the entire movie.
I think
yes, that is something that I did hear about Apocalypto, is that there is like almost no dialogue in the movie, which not a bad thing. There are lots of movies that have almost no dialogue that I really dig the hell out of. Well, I think. Have
you ever seen Primal?
I have seen Primal. Yes.
Yeah, that has like no dialogue in it, and it's great.
Especially when it's done well, because then sometimes there's exposition, and it's just like, look, I can see that. I don't need to be told that.
Right,
just
exactly.
Visual storytelling.
Yes, visual storytelling is some of the strongest that it's such an asset to filmmaking in general. There is I don't remember if I talked to you about this, Andrew, but there was there's a low budget film. It came out I think in 2014 or something. It's called The Headhunter, and
I think I may have heard of that.
Yeah, the budget for that movie was like $100,000, and it stars one guy. And
I think you might have told me about this.
Yeah, it's that the whole movie is visual storytelling. There's almost no dialogue. There's one scene where he's talking to I think like a dead troll or something, and it's like 4 lines. Everything else is all visual, and I mean, even for a low budget movie, like all that money, all the money that they had is on the screen.
Hey, it's what year did you say? 2012? 2014?
For what, Headhunter?
Yeah.
I think it was 2014, because I think it came out not long after I finished high school, and I graduated high school 2011.
I see 3 different.
I see it.
I see 3 different films here when I look it up.
I just looked up the Headhunter movie.
The cover is a guy wearing like a Viking helmet.
Okay, yeah. That one says 2018.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I see one that says 2009, and then I see one that says 2011.
So the one I found, it literally only has 3 people listed as the cast: the father, the daughter, and the head.
Yeah,
which is voice. Wow. I gotta see. This is. I'm sure it's somewhere that I can find.
It's probably on Tubi. It's not going to be on any major streaming service because it was so low budget. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
But hey, you know what? That's insanely impressive, though, to make a movie for that cheap. And I say cheap. That's a lot of money, but in the movie industry,
but by industry standards, that's pocket change.
Yeah.
But the cinematography is fantastic.
That almost,
The father's performance is fantastic.
I think that displays way more talent
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
when you
you can
have,
do
you know.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was basically done.
Oh, I was just going to say you can make a really good low budget movie. Like if you have a good story and good direction, there's a lot of ways to cut corners on cost. I mean, um,
Mhm.
good example, El Mariachi. That's a $7,000 movie, and it
Wow,
did really well.
that's awesome.
Well, you also have those, back in the early, the 2000s and the early 2010s. That was like the renaissance of low budget horror films. Things like Paranormal Activity, Ouija, all
Oh, I
kinds of
remember Ouija.
yeah, all kinds of horror movies that came out around that time. Budgets of like, 1 million, 2 million, 800,000,
What was
something.
the Babadook's budget? I can't imagine that being too high.
I
I guess I could look it up.
we talked about this before. I think we said that the budget was like 2 million or something.
Yeah, let me.
But Justin, just in case
Yeah,
you
2
don't
million.
know, the Babadook is my absolute favorite horror film. It is.
It's
I've
good.
I've seen a lot of horror before. Like all the Evil Dead movies, Hereditary, which is
Oh,
fantastic.
Evil Dead's awesome.
I mean, I'm not a savant by any means, but I've seen my fair share of horror films. The Babadook is head and shoulders above all of them.
Oh, I really like Army of Darkness. That one's
I
the
love
clips.
Army of Darkness.
My favorite scene is like that skeleton scene where the skeleton pokes him in the eyes.
Was there actually any destination as to who the master of the castle?
He meant
Are you talking
distinctions.
about? Are you talking about the castle where we first see Gawain, or are we talking about the mansion where he meets that lord and lady who are lusting after him?
I'm pretty sure that's what he meant. Because he said he meant distinctions.
Sinister with Ethan Hawke. Yeah, I love Sinister. That was a really good one. Darkness Falls. I haven't seen that one, but Sinister was good. I love a movie where the horror is in something that somebody's watching. It's all about these haunted tapes that house a demon.
So here's the question
The mansion.
about horror. Do you think the first Terminator movie is a horror movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so as well. I talked to some people and they think it's just an action movie, but the way it's shot,
the second one's an action
definitely
movie.
Yeah, the second one is, but the first one is absolutely a horror movie in my opinion.
So Zach, regarding your question, I've read theories about this. I think it's up to your interpretation. I don't think there's a definitive answer as to who those people are, because the lady of the house, for example, she knew about the Green Knight. I think she's also someone who said the Green Knight is someone you know. And there's something almost otherworldly and supernatural about that couple, which is very eerie, very hard to explain. I really think it's up to your interpretation. I mean, are they real? I mean, we don't know, and that's part of the beauty of the movie, in my opinion, is that but like we've said, throughout the stream, you don't get all the answers, and there's good ways and bad ways to leave something up to audience interpretation, and I think the Green Knight does it all good.
Oh, 100%.
Because he definitely had some kind of supernatural effect. I feel like he did. I really feel like he did.
Mm-hmm.
And I think so on that note, actually, so Alicia Vikander, who you might know from Ex Machina, she played the lady of that house. But she also played the prostitute that Gawain was fooling around with.
Oh, okay.
You see her at the beginning of the movie, and then you also have kind of a flashback to her where she's trying to say that she wants a life with him, and she's like, You'll be my lord, I'll be your lady. Same actress.
I think if
So
she was bald in this movie, I would have recognized her right away.
Are you attracted to me, Nathan? Yeah. Yeah, but that was a nice little piece of information that I came across not long after I saw the movie, and I was like, holy shit! Like what kind of implications does that have? Who freaking knows? But it's the fact that it makes you think about it. It doesn't take away from the story. It actually deepens the story because you're left to wonder how much is happening, how much is in his head. Has he been with the Green Knight the entire time, and the whole journey was just a hallucination? Like we don't know,
Yeah.
and that's freaking awesome.
I love movies like that.
Oh,
All right, I guess I'm the host now.
Crap.
Were you? What happened?
Sorry about that. I don't know. I think I hit something.
Well, I was host for about 5 seconds.
Damn.
But I was just saying that I love movies that do that, where you don't know at the end, like what the characters, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? It ends the story in a way that you just don't know. It could go either way.
Ambiguity.
The word I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly.
Ambiguity, when it's not gratuitous, is definitely a plus. Now, you have your movies like I don't know if you guys have seen The Cell with Jennifer Lopez.
Have not.
That movie is very much one of those ones where the director is shooting a scene and he's just like, ask me what it means, ask me what it means, ask me what it means. and it's like you would ask him and he'd be like, that's up to you to decide. It's one of those pretentious, like, self-dick sucky kind of movies.
That's kind of how I feel about like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. I'm like, it's just nothing, man. There's. So what do you think? That's just a clever way of saying you make the story for me.
Right, exactly.
I think the purpose was correcting his life.
Yeah.
Well,
we had Zach. I don't know if you were present for this part of the stream, but we talked about how the Green Knight was almost like a projection of Sir Gawain's desire for glory, and he was kind of a catalyst that helped him come to terms with the fact that he's on a path to self-destruction. And that's a lot of what the flash forward at the end was. He runs away from the Green Knight, and then he sees, okay, well, if he does this and he goes through with this is what's going to happen. He's going to be king of the kingdom, but he's not going to be a good king. He's not going to be a good father. He's going to live out the rest of his life as a hollow shell of a man, only to find his life ended with the fall of his kingdom. So, and by the time that was over, you could see that Gawain was a changed man. He lived out his entire life, saw its logical conclusion, and realized that's not what I want. And so the Green Knight, and you could see that he was very pleased with Gawain's revelation. I mean, he has this big smile on his face, and he seems like an approving father. Let me see. Did it ever cross your thoughts that the Green Knight was sent by his mother? Yes, it did, because his mother performed that ritual at the beginning of the movie.
That's right. Yeah.
I think because Gawain's mother knew that her son was at the brothel, fooling around with prostitutes, and acting all high and mighty in King Arthur's court, and and trying to be this big deal without ever having done anything of a big deal in his life. So I think that I think you're absolutely right. I think that his mother sent the Green Knight to test him, and hopefully to change him.
Yeah.
See, this movie spurns a lot of discussion, and I like it.
I know it's like there's so many different possibilities and everything. It's a good conversation, even though we spend probably more time talking about horrible movies that are 85 hours long than
Yeah.
we did about this movie.
Megalopolis felt like 85 hours.
Oh, that was
The Emu War felt like 85 hours.
Yeah,
Oh,
funny story though about Megalopolis. I'll just make this quick because we're coming up on an hour and a half here. While I was in the theater for Megalopolis, I was one of like 8 people in that theater, and about halfway through the movie, the power cut out, and after about 2 minutes, everybody in the theater just got up and left. I was the only one who actually stuck it out until the movie came back on about 10 minutes later. Because I was thinking to myself, like, I don't like what I'm watching, but I'm going to see it through to the end. And then when the power came back on, the projector started playing again. I just gave the projector guy a big thumbs up.
That was a movie where, even though it was terrible, it was still entertaining.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's nothing worse than a bad movie that's boring.
Yeah.
What kind of story do you think his mom has to have that level of power? I know that Gawain's mother in Arthurian lore is someone of note, but I can't remember who it is. It's not Morgana or
It's about my pay grade, so
I can't remember. I'm so like not up to date on Arthurian lore. Who was Gawain's mother? Go Gadget Google.
You're going to fail that test.
Morgause.
Oh, so I was close.
Traditional mythology, sister of Morgan Le Fay.
Yes.
Words are hard tonight. There you go.
So, is it sister of Morgan Le Fay? So yeah,
yes.
There you go. She's basically a witch.
She was a half sister. She was the legendary sorceress and half sister to King Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
Science.
Yeah, science, bitch. Aaron Paul. I like Aaron Paul. He's not always a great actor, but I like him. He was really good. He was really good in Ash. So some of his lines were kind of but I mean he was entertaining.
My favorite thing is like in Breaking Bad when he says rice and beans.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
But
yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
All right. Well, I think what we've thoroughly passed.
We only got
time here.
83 and a half hours left in the stream.
Oh my god. Yeah. Let's watch The Cure for Insomnia.
We're gonna do a live watch party.
In fact, yes, we're gonna have a live watch party.
And after that, we can follow it up with Food Fight.
I am not watching fucking Food Fight. I despise that movie.
My gosh.
The one redeeming thing about Food Fight is Christopher Lloyd.
It's got a 1.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
$45 million movie.
Customers.
$45 million movie.
Off the show.
Oh. $45 million.
Actually, you know what? The animation,
it has the graphics of a PS2 game.
Well, actually,
that's a compliment.
I was gonna say it looks like the Spider-Verse films, like the quality from what I'm seeing.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Maybe if I had forks in my eyes.
Comparing the animation of Food Fight to the animation of the Spider-Verse films is like comparing a BB gun to a Dragunov sniper rifle. Like that. Like there's no comparison there. There's. I shouldn't have to explain this to you, Andrew.
Well, see, it's just
Yeah, I think you need new glasses. Oh, he's frozen. No.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh. I thought you were really frozen.
I could see your thumb move a little bit, so I just stayed quiet.
Oh my god. Well, Andrew, if college doesn't work out for you, you definitely have a career as a mannequin.
That, or you're also looking on your phone. Justin has the benefit of being on a computer, So you're, you know,
all right.
'cause, like-
Well, okay. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn off your video.
that's right. I forgot you can do that.
I'm not gonna turn off your video. That's okay. But anyways,
I'll just do this.
yeah. Can't see me.
Right.
No.
Can't see me, Cam.
Oh no.
Blurred his face.
Oh, you bastard.
There was I think it was a Nike commercial where they
Yes.
had that in there. I saw it was like a Nike commercial or something. They had that in. I was like, whoa.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, so that was The Green Knight and all the rabbit holes that ensued. Justin, I'm curious. After having talked about it with us, do you think you're gonna go check it out at any point, or do you think you kind of got all you're gonna get from it?
I'm probably will check it out at one point in time. I don't remember what streaming service it's on. Maybe I might have.
It's only available for rent right now.
I might check it out once it shows up on like HBO Max or
Sure.
Hulu.
I think it was
like
on
that.
Max for a while, but I think its contract
think
ended after
so.
2 years.
Yeah,
Or we can just buy the Blu-ray. you
or I
know.
should call it HBO Max if I didn't call it that before. Like, yeah, they're
Right.
changing it again.
Snip, snap.
Well,
snip,
there,
snap.
if you scroll up in our group chat, I actually posted a link where you can watch it free online.
All right.
But you got
well,
a ton of pop-ups.
I tried to post a link, and the messenger wouldn't let me. But just type in the address that I put up there, and it'll take you to it.
All right. I'll check that out.
And then
All right.
free hot singles in your area will pop up, and you have to say decline.
Yeah. Right.
Will I also get an offer to download some free RAM?
Yes.
Yeah. Download some more storage.
Right, exactly.
Have fun with your AI girl today.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes when you're lonely and you just oh man.
Yeah, Zach, thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate it.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah, well, we do these streams. Moving forward, I'm getting back on track with every Sunday. Life is finally starting to settle down for me because
your family's going to celebrate you next week, though. I'm sure.
They're what? Next week is Father's Day. Son of a. Okay, well, you know what? It's the stream is at the end of the day.
Right.
I will be appreciated for the 23 hours leading up to it.
That's all right. Their gift can be given you this hour. Just
Yeah,
block off the
exactly.
hour, or
I
84
just want
hours.
some free time, damn it. All right. Any final thoughts about the movie, Andrew? You had praised it up and down. Do you think you'll watch it again, or do you think that once is enough, or what are you thinking?
I can't do it.
All of that just to say Godzilla.
Right. It's Godzilla, but due to copyrights, it is not Godzilla. Yeah. It was awesome, and I very rarely the first time I watch a movie do I praise it this high. I don't like to, because sometimes it could be first time, just whatever. But yeah, this was great. This is definitely something I'm going to look at to getting on Blu-ray. I wanted to. Where was I going with that? Yeah, I'll get it on Blu-ray because I definitely want to rewatch this.
Find it in your thrift store.
That's right. I that would be a very, very lucky find at my thrift store. But I could probably get it on Amazon or something. It's worth the money.
Yeah, for sure.
It's worth the $15 or whatever. But yeah, a lot of fun. Great movie. Very well done. If you haven't seen it already, change that.
Yeah.
Or we will send the Green Knight after you. Actually.
Yes, exactly.
That's a promise. So
any blow you give him is returned in 1 year, and someone blows him away with a bazooka or something.
Right. Yeah.
Just
He just starts
it's going to be one random day during the year, just at the door, just like
Yeah.
Why are
Disguised
you here?
as a delivery man.
Yeah,
Sign here.
to keep up with the theme of the movie, it has to be on Christmas Day because that's when the Green Knight first showed up. So,
Oh, all right.
That's right.
all right.
Yeah, great
So,
movie.
Any shameless plugs that anybody wants to drop? Justin, do you have anything going on? Any projects you want people to find you doing or anything?
Not at the moment.
Okay. All right. Andrew?
I do have a question. Is
Oh.
there like going to be a movie? Like, how does this work? Like, does the movie change?
So what we do a movie of the week. We typically do 4, and then like 3 or 4, and then we do like a topic discussion. The first time we did the topic of musicals. The second time we did the topic of action films. I don't think we've done a third one yet, but I don't remember if we're due for one or not. But I do want to do a film next week, and then after that we can do a topic.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas I'll pitch you, and then you can keep them in the back of your mind.
Yeah, for sure. Just shoot them to me through the group chat.
Yeah.
All right. Andrew, any shameless plugs?
Yeah, tomorrow night on the Feast of Phantoms YouTube channel, we will go live for MCU Monday. It is Jessica Jones season 1, episode 5, I believe, the sandwich that saved me. Which, of course, I say that every day. So that's super fun.
I love bologna.
Exactly. How'd you know? Thursday night, we will go live with David and Debbie for a Cantina happy hour. The previous week for Clone Wars, the first episode, that has like 180 something views. Like,
Nice.
it blew up. So we're doing, is it 2, 3, and 4? Because I think that's an arc.
Yeah. It's
I believe so.
I think it's a 3-episode arc.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what we'll be doing. So it's a lot of fun. Of course, I'll be back here next week for whatever we are discussing. That's all I got.
I'm gonna make sure it's something on Tubi, something nobody has to write.
I have an idea.
I think
One of the ones.
Okay, well, I actually tell me what it is. What's your idea?
Okay, so this movie, it's bad, but it's a fun watch. It's called Don't Let the River Beast Get You.
Don't Let the River Beast Get You.
It's a indie film,
Mhm.
and it's hilarious because the acting is horrible. It's not good. Actually, I'm not going to be that harsh because it's a bunch of like friends and like a town that made it, and a lot of the people play like different characters, or they'll use like the same extras for all the scenes. So it's a fun watch. It's like a cool...
This guy died like 6 times.
And the River Beast is literally one of the directors. And
Are we talking about Sean Bean here?
Right, exactly. Exactly. But the River Beast is the director in a costume. It looks like a human in a costume. But what it does is there's like a narrator. There's like an old guy at the beginning of the movie, and he says before the River Beast comes on screen, the screen will flash red to prepare you for it. And then it's just the director and the costume going like,
Okay, well, I guess that's our plan. Next Sunday, we're doing Don't Let the River Beast Get You. Is that on Tubi?
It was when I watched it. Let me verify that it still is.
Yeah.
Well, it was nice talking to you. I have to go. I'll
Okay.
see you
awesome.
later.
Well, thanks for joining,
Bye, Justin. Thanks for joining
Yeah.
us.
Nice
Hopefully we'll see
talking
next
to you all.
week. Yes, sir.
Bye.
And then there were 2.
Bum, bum, bum.
It doesn't look like it's on Tubi anymore.
No?
Oh, no, it is. I had to just type in the full title. Never mind.
Oh.
I just typed in Don't Let, and it wasn't showing up. And I was like, oops.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, then that's what we'll do.
All right. It's supposed to be a campy throwback to like 50s monster movies. And the main guy is a local math tutor who left town for 3 years because he told people about the River Beast, and everyone thought he was crazy because they're like, that doesn't exist. So he returns back, and his whole thing is he's the world's best tutor. And the River Beast has returned. And it's funny.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah.
Or that or Hereditary. We could do one of the two.
Well, we did a good movie today. We got to do a not so good movie next week to kind of keep the balance.
There you go. You know what? It's like Thanos. Everything must be balanced.
Exactly.
There you
All
go.
right. Well, then, yeah, to everybody who's watching, tune in next week at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time as we cover Don't Let the River Beast Get You. So if it's as silly of a movie as Andrew says, I think that's going to be a hell of a discussion, maybe a la Kroll.
I actually think it's a little bit better than Kroll. I enjoyed it more than Kroll.
Okay, don't lie to yourself. Nothing is better than Kroll.
That's right. You just threw the glaze at me.
Yeah.
That's more plot right there
like,
than ahead of the movie.
He throws it 3 times in the whole movie. It's a
watch our ADR to start to be like, hey guys, how are you?
Yeah, and the glaive has like a bee sound effect as it flies through the air. God, I hate that movie. And I take that back. I don't hate it, but I don't like it.
Forgot about the best part of the movie. The 3-minute montage.
2.5. 2.5 what?
That's what he's rating us out of 10 as the show. 2.5 out of 10.
Oh, well. I mean, that's a hell of a lot more generous than I would have rated us.
Either that or he's talking about
yeah, Kroll.
All of a sudden an old guy's gonna show up on stream and he knows everything about the show. It's like, who are you? Where'd you come from?
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're gonna go meet ex-lover with a spider that's crawling at you while you have to crawl the web and you know.
Where is Lissa? Out of your reach.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, yep, that'll about do it for today's episode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and thanks for being active in the chat. We will see you guys next week at 8 p.m. I'm not in Florida anymore. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time as we cover Don't Let the River Beast Get You. Andrew, thank you again very much for joining me. It's always a pleasure having you on here. We have a lot of fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
One away from 50.
I'm up to a whopping 49 subscribers. I mean, it's just...
If you remember, Cam said he would do something special for 50. I mean, think about what he did for 30.
Oh, man. I don't want to put on lingerie again.
Actually, that's the second most viewed of the live streams.
I know. I can't remember what the most viewed one was.
It's I think it's Kroll. I'll check. I think it's Kroll with 41 views.
Not bad.
And Enemy Mine has 36.
I'm doing
actually you're up to
champion
50.
numbers.
I just checked. You're right. You hit 50.
I hit. Oh. I'll figure something out. Something.
I'm just kidding.
Something maybe not as risque as the Princess Leia lingerie
of the Emu War on standard Blu-ray.
Yes, at 50 subscribers, I will spend my hard-earned money on a movie that I hate.
To then pay to ship it out to you.
Oh man,
worldwide shipping.
I mean, thanks everybody very much for 50 subscribers. I mean, that's freaking awesome.
Dude, think about it too. I mean, it's one show once a week, and there's 50 people out there that were like, "Hey,
that's okay."
No, right. I'm just saying that's because we live in a world with social media with numbers where it's like, "Oh, that's so small." If I had to talk in front of 50 people right now, I'd be like, you know,
yeah, it'd just be like. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Stutter for a few seconds, then you become Joker trying to do his comedy routine. So a guy walks into
a right, exactly. Oh man,
if I could like it 50 times right. Oh, thanks, man. That's awesome to know. I really appreciate that.
We're just gonna stay on for 12 more minutes. We can have the first 2-hour show.
I know. I mean,
I'm kidding.
I got things to do tomorrow.
Right, exactly. Oh man.
All right. Well, yes, that'll do it for today. Thank you everybody for joining us. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's see how quickly I can get to 60. I mean, that'd be awesome. And I'll figure out something fun to do as a celebration of 50 subscribers. Zach, if you're still watching, a couple months ago when I hit 30 when I hit 30 subscribers, I did a stream wearing Princess Leia lingerie, and I just had it on for the whole stream, and I actually spanked myself a couple times in it.
I know. I was like, whoa. Michael and I were like,
yeah, I'm trying to put together a calendar, man. So
right, exactly.
But yeah, I'll figure out something fun to do. It's probably
That's what you can do for 50. One lucky winner gets the Cam calendar. Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I'll figure out something.
Gosh.
So that's it for today. Thanks everybody for joining us. We will see you next week. Have a good night.
See you at the movies.